Good morning, happy Tuesday. As you can see by the title of this video, I thought I would take you along for a day in the life towards the end of the school year. It is May 14th today, which for many of you actually might be like really close to the end of the school year. We are still, I think it's 20, what are we at? Oh, it's about 20 days away. Oh my gosh, I think today, 20 days away. So we are definitely nearing the end and we can feel it around here. But I wanted to kind of show you what we are up to today. If you are new here, I am a first grade teacher up in Massachusetts who taught for a while and then took some years off to get my master's degree, spend time with my kids at home. And this is actually my first year back in the classroom full time. So it's been an exhausting and fun year to kind of take you along with me. And to see what we're up to. We have a lot of fun stuff going on today. Actually, I have to prep for a sub day tomorrow. Tomorrow is my personal day. I planned one for kind of later in the year to get a break during all this craziness time. And then, not on purpose, but the day after, so tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to do a site visit to watch a local district use CKLA in their school. If you have been following along with my channel at all, then you might know we are currently in the process of looking to adopt a new literacy curriculum that is more aligned to the science of reading. So we have been since, I think like January, I think we started right after the new year. I don't exactly remember the day, but we've been listening to publisher presentations every Tuesday afternoon. We've been debriefing on them, kind of rating them using our own scale and all of that. So today is a Tuesday. Right after school, I will be rushing home to go to another one of these meetings where we are going to go over EL education. I think I told you, but my very first publisher meeting was with EL education. But EL education has two different publishers, and the first publisher was a lot. It seemed not user-friendly. I think I explained all this if you've seen any of my videos, but we just did not like it. In fact, it's the first curriculum that we kind of just nixed. But our curriculum director wanted us to at least see this education from the other publisher. So it'll be a quick presentation because they package things a lot differently. And what we didn't love about EL education was a lot of that kind of teacher burden. The book was heavy. There was a ton to do. It was not user-friendly at all. So we're going to see if our mind changes at all after this. We're also going to debrief the last two presentations that we did do, which were Wit and Wisdom and Benchmark. So yeah, it's been a long journey. And then hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're supposed to pick two to pilot. So I'm very excited to go see a school using one of these curriculums. I was super interested in CKLA from everything I see, both in Facebook groups as well as the Reading League. They just came out with their kind of ratings where they looked for red flags, and CKLA, amongst the ones we're looking at, had some of the best rated reviews for being aligned to the science of reading. My district did not feel that way. I already explained this in one of my videos too, but they didn't seem on board, which is fine. I'm not, I'm part of a team looking for a much larger district. So I will voice my opinion. I would be ready to try CKLA. It's a big ask and it's very different from what we are doing. But again, this is my first year back, so I'm not tied to anything. I don't feel any sort of way about anything, and I'm actually ready and willing, not that others aren't, I just mean I'm talking only for myself, that I would love to try a curriculum like CKLA, and I think EL is pretty similar, but EL just looked miserable. The book looked miserable. So anyway, other ones our district was pretty excited about Into Reading, which is HMH. I wasn't super thrilled about that one, but it's okay. I think, thankfully, I feel personally fine, knowing the knowledge and research I've been doing over the last, or I shouldn't say research, I haven't done any research, training I've been doing over the last, 3-4 years in terms of the science of reading. I feel confident that any curriculum we adopt, I'll be able to make sure that I make it what our kids need. And I did like at least that Into Reading, they recently redid their phonics. So they are aligned to letters, or at least they say they are, and from what I've looked at, they are. Sometimes it's hard. You can look at everything, look at all the manuals, and then it's really hard to know until you start actually using everything in your classroom. So anyway, long story short, next year we're gonna pick two to pilot. Today I have another meeting, so I can debrief you on that later. But in terms of what we're doing in class, our research projects are completely finished. I'm so excited. I'm gonna take you over and show you their habitats, their clay animals. I'll show you some of their books, because this Friday we are going to present them to our parents. So I love this. I feel like if you are working on something for a month long in the classroom, regardless of your age, that should be an academic thing that you at least offer to share with parents. So we have it on Friday where parents can come in, they can explore the school zoo and learn about our animals. So really excited about that. In math, we are going to be introducing money. So I'll show you some of what we're gonna do there. And let's see, what else are we doing? Phonics, we are still going with those 2-syllable words, but now we're adding suffixes. So we have 2-syllable words with S, with ing, and with ed, and then next week we'll introduce es. So, all right, enough yapping, let me show you what we're up to. I also think it's funny because if you watched some of my like beginning of the year days in the life, I think I did 1 or 2. I was like, oh, it's Monday or it's Wednesday. On these days I work out in the morning. That stopped like December, I'd say. I really wanted to keep that going, but I will be walking on the treadmill today after my presentation or after my meeting. So exercising has been a big struggle this year, especially the first year back. All right, let me show you some of these projects. First, here are our books. I think I told you this before, but what I did is I laminated the front cover and I laminated the back cover, which I won't show you because it has students' information, but they just drew a picture of themselves inside what looks like a cell phone, and then they shared some information about themselves. And then here are the pages. You've seen most of these already if you've been following along, but how would you classify your animal? Which body parts help your animal survive? What does your animal eat? How do parents care for their offspring? And these are all things we can find, or we did find in PebbleGo. And then what does your animal look like as a baby? And then how do they grow and change over time? And this is where we learned and added a caption. How to take care of a turtle. This was our how-to page we did last week where we could kind of pick any sort of topic. And then we just had to make sure we used transition words and share information that we at least had learned. And then fun facts. So this is my student who did sea turtle. We have orca whale, wolf. So these just came out so cute, and I love it as a nice little keepsake. Baby wolves are called pups. They are born in litters of 4 or more. Here's the cute little pups. I just love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now let's look at our habitats. So we ordered, I think I mentioned before, but we got a grant funded for this project. So we ordered a bunch of these little habitats from School Specialty Store. I don't know if we'll use them again. They're pretty fragile and they were hard to put together. So just a heads up, they're nice and they look nice, but I'm gonna see next year if we can find like some white shoe boxes of some kind that just make it easier. So what we did is we printed out a ton of different backgrounds just on some paper. And when I called students up, they had to tell me what their habitat was, like where their animal was found, and they would grab a background that matched. So here's jungle, and then they put the jungle in, they glued it, and then they found a piece of construction paper for the bottom. This right here is a jaguar. So I ordered a bunch of like diorama supplies, like this little grass, and then this is her clay animal. So stinking cute. I'm obsessed. And then I'm not gonna glue these in because I want them to be able to take them out if they would like to. Here we have a giraffe in the savannah. We have a wolf in the forest eating some mushrooms. What else do we have? A honeybee. We printed out like a little beehive in the background. Oh, over here we have our killer whale. He made some waves here. Here we have our Gila monster in the desert. Porcupine back there. A little owl in the forest. Bald eagle, chimpanzee. I love the little rocks. They got so creative with these. Like I was so impressed. Here's a little shark. They have a baby shark. His is drying up here from yesterday. The deer. Here we have our sea turtle. She made some waves in the front here. Stick. Oh, these are the stick insects. So she made 2. She made one green for when they're younger and then a brown one for when they're older. And lion in the savannah. There's a couple in the back here, but I'm so impressed. I think they're so cute. The kids loved it. It did make quite a mess, but it was worth it. It was worth the extra vacuuming. All right, I just took out our coins here. We have a bunch of different little play coins because I'm going to put them in bags. We are first introducing, day 1, we introduce pennies, dimes, and nickels. And we will have students actually look at them, compare them, talk about what they notice, and then they'll practice counting like items. So they'll count just nickels, just dimes, just pennies. And then I'll also show them how to count mixed coins, starting with the highest value and then working your way to the lowest value. So I'll show you these slides, but I have to get these in little containers for students to split. So let me do that. Okay, so for math, we're going to continue this all year long, some double digit addition and subtraction practice. They're gonna see it horizontally, they're gonna see it vertically. I'm looking for them to decompose into tens and ones, and this is what we're doing for the rest of the year. We're getting them ready for second grade. But then we are going to go right into coins. So let's learn about coins. Look at each of these coins in your hand. What do you notice about them? What's the same and what's different? So this is where they're gonna use those coins I was just sharing. They're gonna have them on their desk. I want them to hold them, give them a few minutes to look at them, and then we'll talk about what's the same, what's different. And then as we go through each one, I'm going to have them actually hold up. So I'll have them put a penny in their hand. We'll look at the front, the back. We'll talk about how it's a copper color. It's worth 1 cent. And I like to show them both ways that we can write that. And I mentioned that it takes 100 of them to make $1. Same with the nickel, silver color. It's bigger than a penny. It's worth 5 cents. Dime, it's the smallest coin. Takes 10 of them to make $1. And then again, we're not doing the quarter yet. The quarter will kind of have its own day. And then, let me go. So here I will have them grab 6 dimes. How much is it worth? How did you count it? How do we write it? So these slides are just kind of guiding them along. So they'll grab 6 dimes. If I need to, I'll model how we count it by tens, and then I'll show them how we would write the total here. We'll do the same with 7 nickels and 14 pennies. And then I will show them how to do the mixed coins. So this is where I'll explain that we start with the highest value coin first. We count by tens, then we add on by fives, and then by ones to get our total. And then we'll talk a little bit about exchanging. So this is gonna be like a big whole group lesson where there's a lot of explicit teaching, but students will be able to have, these coins right in front of them. So I'll have them actually take a nickel, exchange it for 5 pennies. Take a dime, exchange it for 2 nickels. And then I'm gonna have them work through this problem, which came from our Math and Focus curriculum. It says, Layla is going to mail a letter at the post office. A stamp costs 21 cents. Which coins can she use to make that amount? So here I'm looking for a bunch of different answers to show that. And then we'll talk about some of these, like we could also do 21 pennies. There's a bunch that aren't here too, but we'll kind of go over the different options. Then I will have them practice. This is just a This is just a penny and dime count. So they'll practice counting up the dimes first, then the pennies, and actually writing down the value in the boxes. And then if there's still time, they can go onto IXL and I will assign a money game over there, or a money practice sheet. So that is how we are introducing the very first day of money. Now I do have some other things that I will show you throughout the week that I like to use from some of my TPT packets. They are games and little review centers for them to go through. Now I'm gonna pull up the Phonics slides, but I do feel like I should share with you because I do get here very early, and I think somebody asked before, like, what are your contract hours? Our contract hours are essentially 15 minutes either before school starts or after school ends is when you need to be here. So the kids start coming into class at 8:25. So I need to either be here at 8:10, or if I get here at 8:25 with the kids, that's fine. I just need to stay 15 minutes after they leave around, I think they usually leave, it technically ends at 3, but by the time they're gone, it's like 3:10. So I think I need to stay till 3:15. I obviously get here at like 7:15. I get here like an hour before contract hours for a few reasons. Not because I'm an overachiever at all, mostly because it's nice and quiet in here. I am up early anyway, and I also leave immediately after school ends. I have 2 boys who take the bus, they come here, and then I take them right home because I can't get anything done in my classroom while they're here. Also, I found that especially at the beginning of the year, I needed a lot more time. It's been, 7 years since I've had my own classroom. So getting everything ready again and just preparing myself took a lot longer. As the year has gone on, unless I'm filming a video, which I'm not going to do on contract hours, hence why I'm also here early. But I've been coming at like 7:45. I still like to get here early where it's calm, make all my copies. I like to get everything kind of ready for the day before school instead of after school. So I just thought I would point that out because some people ask, how do you get there? Well, actually, some people are surprised that school starts at 8:25 because that's pretty late for a lot of you. But let me show you what we are up to in Phonics. So first, we just have a big sound review. When I'm not using the cards that I kind of just flip through, I will often put up this sound review chart. Actually, one of my teammates made this, and so I just stole it from her. She let me borrow it, I should say. And then one student will come grab a pointer. They'll point to about 5-6 sounds, and then we repeat that with like 3 different students. And I'm looking for students to say it super quickly as soon as the sound is pointed to. And then I also tell them the next person that's going to come up and use the pointer is someone who was focusing, doing it along and saying the sound quickly. Then we did a big review of heart words. So we have people, how, many. I'm not going to read them. You can read them yourself. This was a big review, so I wanted to go through them. And then we went into our syllables. So we have invent. We talk about the two different types of syllables that they are. And then I show them how we're going to add some suffixes. So we have invents, invented, and inventing. And I have students use these in a sentence. We always talk about how invented is in the past, inventing is happening right now. And when we say invents, we don't say I invents, we say we're talking about someone else if we're using that suffix s there with a verb. So we talk about all of that, and we do it again with expects, expected, expecting. And then we introduced 3 new heart words. So work, word, and write. So we introduced a silent letter at the beginning, which we have not done yet. They're used to that silent E on the end. And then of course for our work and word, the OR is making the instead of its normal sound, which would be or. So we went through all of these, and then they read a sentence with these heart words in it. So I ask everybody to sit at their seat and read it quietly first, and then we all read it together. And then I have a couple students come up and read it fluently. We talk about what that sounds like now. So they should be saying, did you do your work? Or write that word now. And then we go into spelling. I don't know if I showed you this slide yet, so I wanted to make sure. I don't know if I've talked about how I teach spelling the heart words. I have, of course, made videos about this in the past of how I use the heart word method, and we still phoneme, grapheme map it. So we are tapping out those words. So for word, w-er-d, I talk about unless it has that heart part, this is the only part that doesn't sound or isn't spelled like how it sounds. So the W is the same, the D is the same, w-er-d. And then we have to remember that here is O-R. And then we did the same for work, and I have them writing these on their whiteboards. And then they do mark the heart part, and then write. So I always put the E outside the box. You can do it inside, it doesn't matter. But that's just how I always do it. And there's silent W here at the beginning. So this is what it looks like when we spell those heart words. I just made this quick little KWL chart here. After phonics tomorrow, the whole afternoon is going to kind of be a quick little shark day with the sub. So they have a little shark video that they can watch here. It's a cool, I think it's National Geographic for kids. It's a video of somebody going underwater in the cage to see sharks. And then we're going to do a let's think, what do we already know about sharks? What do we want to know about sharks? And they will fill in the top 2 with the sub. And then they will read this book and watch this video, and then they'll share what they've learned about sharks. Oh, let me turn that off. With this little page here, and this is from my writing, my May writing, and then I assigned in Seesaw a little directed drawing that they can draw over here. So that's what they'll do during reading time. I'm on tomorrow's plans because I want to go ahead and get my sub plans done. That's what I'm trying to do right now before school starts. So they have just some quick little math slides, and then they're going to make this craft. Now, this is the main craft. I did one similar on Gingerbread Week, but they're not going to use these addition problems. They have a bunch inside, so my students are going to focus on double-digit addition. So they will make those, and they will get hung up in the class. We'll take down their little Earth Day crafts, and we will put that one up. It'll probably be the last craft we do for the year. And then after specials, just to see, we're going to read Shark Lady, and then they're going to do this little response sheet where they are writing down 3 of Eugenie Clark's accomplishments and drawing a picture for each. So just going through those slides for tomorrow, I'm going to go start printing out all of the pages that I need for tomorrow and start organizing them for my sub days for Wednesday and Thursday. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And then we'll have school, so I will check in after school. Hello, long time no see. I am currently at home, obviously, and I just finished up our literacy curriculum meeting. It went well. We talked about all sorts of stuff. We all seem to really like Wit and Wisdom. Our biggest concern about it is the need for K through 2 to have to potentially adopt a phonics and phonemic awareness program as well if we can't keep foundations. And that is a big ask for K through 2. My day at school went swimmingly. It went just fine. We did everything that we were supposed to. I was able to leave with all of my sub plans on the back table, ready to go. One whole set for Wednesday, one whole set for Thursday. Thankfully, I was able to talk to my aide in the classroom and just kind of let her know a rough breakdown of how the day is going to go. And then, of course, just let her know whatever happens, happens, as long as the kids are happy and alive and safe. That's all that matters. So I hope they have a good couple days. I am now going to, it is, what time is it? Let me look. It is 5:15, sorry, 5:15. So I got to school at about 7:15 this morning. It is now 5:15. I'm finally finishing up with all of my school stuff. So I'm going to throw on some workout clothes and go walk on the treadmill and just kind of move my body. Quick little workout is done. I would not say it was too heavy of a workout. I just walked for 30 minutes and did some arm strengthening workouts, whatever. I was going to watch a show. I was probably gonna watch Below Deck, some trashy reality TV to get my mind off things. But after the meeting, I forgot to share that they had recorded, instead of like site visits to all of the different curriculum options we're looking at, they have some Zoom meetings available. So I didn't go to one of them, but it was a Zoom meeting with the district who was using Into Reading. And since most of the people on the committee liked Into Reading so much, I wanted to just kind of watch the Zoom and see what the district likes about it and all this stuff. So I told you Into Reading wasn't my favorite. I do like that they have the new structured literacy piece that's supposedly aligned to letters. But the rest of it seemed pretty reading workshop-esque based. So listening to them, it was interesting because they're a district that came from units of study, Lucy Calkins. So they kept saying how like this feels like the next best step for their district. And again, please remember, these are just all my own opinions. These are my own thoughts. This is fresh in my mind after I just watched this. So I'm just sharing it with you. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier today, sorry, crazy dog coming up with a shoe. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier today, I am part of a much larger, committee, and that committee is for a big district. So we are still figuring it all out, but these are just my thoughts if you are interested at all. If not, just skip over it. But to me, the Zoom kind of confirmed what I already thought, with it being, again, those like next steps. It's like, if your district is here, this is a great kind of stepping stone to a better knowledge building, more research-based program and kind of the way things are headed. And I don't know yet where my district is. I know my district has been doing years of science of reading research, but I also know a lot of that, or not research again, trainings and learning all the new things that there are to learn. But I also know a lot of that's kind of in the K through 2 realm. And we are learning more about the older grades are getting trained now. They're finishing their training, I believe, with the science of reading. But now we're kind of heading towards that language comprehension strand and everything else. So my personal feelings are that something like Into Reading, while I think I would be fine teaching and adapt as needed, is like a stepping stone to where we need to go. And for me personally, I would rather take the big leap to something entirely different and new, and the challenges that come with that, and kind of be like a step forward, in my opinion, and then kind of work it from there and use like old things that I've done in the past to help supplement, instead of starting, in my opinion, like a step backwards and adding new things. But that's just me. And yeah, again, the Zoom that I just watched kind of confirmed that for me about what they were saying for their district. And they like it. But again, they're coming from a units of study, like, type of program. They're coming from a very reading workshop based Lucy Coggins, and then heading to this like middle step, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. lot of literacy talk today. I'm going to go ahead and shower, and we'll see where we're at. It's already 6:30. Parker is at soccer with Calvin right now. Theo's upstairs playing in his room, so time for me to shower. The boys are showering now and getting ready for their bedtime, so I will go do their bedtime in a minute. Let's see, since the last time we caught up, I was going to go do a little work on my computer, and I sat down and pretty much just ended up scrolling on my phone or like looking at Facebook. I think my brain is done for the day, so didn't do anything there, but that's fine. And my dinner, if you can call it dinner, was the rest of Whole Foods sushi that I got yesterday. So I had a couple pieces of that were left, a slice of provolone cheese, and a handful of candied pecans. So if we're calling that dinner, which I am, then that's what we did. Parker obviously got back from soccer with Calvi, so I hung out with them for a little bit. And yeah, a busy Wednesday night. I cannot wait for summer to spend much more time with the boys and just hanging, doing nothing, going on trips together, just these busy days. Everyone always said, when they were young and they were little, and it was like, oh my gosh, it goes by so fast and life is so crazy busy. And they're like, you just wait. When they get older and they have their own schedules and their own sports and all this stuff. And I genuinely don't feel like we are super overscheduled. They each do 2 sports. But we do have like days off, but usually every night between the 2 of them, there's at least a practice or something to go to. But actually this season we have Fridays off, which is great. So Fridays is always a nice chill day. But anyway, that is a day in the life of a first grade teacher who is also a mom to an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. I hope this was somewhat informative or enjoyable for you to watch. After they go to sleep, I'm going to lay down for a little and listen to The Fourth Wing. That is our book for book club this month. It is a long Audible book, so I am excited and I need to sit down and kind of listen to it. But I'm already a couple chapters in and I am very much enjoying it. Fantasy is not my typical genre that I like to read, but I'm open to anything. And this one's pretty easy to get into, which I heard. I mean, it's like wildly popular, but I am so far enjoying it. As always, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions, comments, concerns, drop them down in the comments below. Next week, I will definitely try to talk more about money and how I am teaching my students money. I know I walked through the first slides, but there's some games and activities that we will be doing later this week and also into next week that I will definitely share with you. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye. Woo!